Alright, so let's get started on this. So, we're going to go over this. Okay, so we've got this map. We're going to go to change settings. So, the only thing you should change about this would be to make 20 pals in a base instead of 15. Because what we're doing here is we're making a stream map. So it's going to have a lot of people in it. A lot of people will be going in and out. There might be people that want to switch pals in and out based upon like who's better, new updates. So when you're not online, someone want to switch out a pal. Like the new Brontosaurus, I forgot his name. It's like Bro something. He's got this thing where he's got planting and gathering, but then his passive is he makes eggs production better. He's got like a philanthropist passive almost. So he's good for like the breeding base / food base that I'm about to show you guys. So let's get this. See, make sure to get this fucker to load up. Those people that play this game know how finicky it can be. So let's hope that we load in. Alright, so we are loaded in. That means I get to pay even more attention to this. Let's move this to the side so I can keep track of comments. I'm not sure if anybody's even up this time of the night. Alright. So, we got that up and going. Alright, so we're going to go from the beginning. Shut the door to my lab. And we're going to go. Okay. So right here, we've got the Plateau of Beginnings. Alright, so what I would recommend is, here's the Plateau of Beginnings, that's where you start. I would recommend putting the first base in this slot right here. I know it seems kind of odd, but it's a good place. I know it seems odd because the fast travel station is right there. So it seems like it doesn't make sense, but it's a good place because it's right at the beginning. That way when you first start playing with people, when you first start off your map, you'll have the place right there. Then we're going to go up in this corner right here. So this is the main base. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here so I get some room to take off. Alright, so I've got this base here because as you'll notice, there's the rabbits. You can start gathering up seeds. There's a sheep. Chickens. You're going to see a lot of berries. There's a lot of berries throughout this area. You also see some tea fans, good for watering. Monkeys, good for handiwork. Capricities, good for berries. More rabbits, more chickens. Cats aren't important. There's chickens. So you're going to see a lot of like good stuff in the beginning. There's usually a lot of wolves around here too, so that's cool. Also, if you get attacked, it's usually only going to be from up this ramp right here. Another reason that's a good spot is because right down here, there's a black market trader right here. So that's another good thing to have. But I've got the main base set up like this, so we're going to drop down. Alright. So I've got two of these up here. This thing, it's kind of a fucking eyesore. Put that wherever the fuck you feel like it. I have it off to the side there. I've got the stand off to the side. I've got the generator off to the side. But, more importantly, actually, let's get back up on him. So, I've got these things littered. I got the berries at the side, then along the border, I have these things so that they don't get in the way. But as you can see, the building is the building is huge. The building is huge for an actual reason. So, when we go ground floor, I added this off to the side because they were kind of running around. You don't really need to do this, but I would recommend making more than one opening in the base. That way your pals can get to conveyor belts. These are all lined up. Then I have the belts, the construction tables like this. Even though some of these are outdated because there's the other ones, if someone just needs to make like one thing while someone else is like mass producing stuff, they don't get in each other's way. Um, then I've got this. This is good to have. This lets you access your PAL box from anywhere. This is next to this. That way, if someone wants to share PALs, they can just put it right in here. So you can share PALs with each other. Here's a global PAL box. But more importantly is, the reason the base is huge, that's the janitor's closet. More importantly, the base is huge so that each person can have their own room. Hold on, this guy did not shut his door. So each person has their own room. Sometimes you're going to find a small room. Sometimes I even make the rooms underneath the stairs small, to be honest, in case there's like a casual player. Like this guy was obviously a casual player. He didn't even put a name tag on his door, but obviously he took the time to decorate his room. I don't know if this guy's room is open. Yeah, this guy's room, he's got egg incubators in here. He's got a bunch of stuff. He's got a drafting table. He's got some lockers. That's his thing. I don't really use my room too often. I just use just a bunch of like crates and bullshit, stuff like that. There's a bed in there. I'm not here that often. Honestly, I'm in my office more, or my lab, more than anything else. But as we go up, this person decided not to put a door on their room. Not sure why. So we got another one. There's another empty room. Looks like someone decorated this and then used out, which is reserving the bed in this room. Hold on, that mic sounds like choppy. Have another small room. I put the little lights in here though. It's another thing I do. Is not everybody who loads in is gonna have like a torch or a hip lantern. So I did put some natural lights in these things, so each person can have their own light even when they start off. So we're gonna keep going. The small room. So then we've got this. I highly, highly recommend. This is the library. I named it the Madame Curie library because it's Madame Curie, but I'm not really the best at decorating. So I have this in here. We've got the drafting table in here. What this will do is it will pull blueprints from everywhere in the base as long as someone doesn't have their chest locked. So this is why it's good to have. I put these cosmetics here because that's pretty much all I had. I'm not really in charge of keeping track of the blueprints per se, but I've had an old library before that was super organized where each chest was a different rarity. So that's what the library is going to turn into. This person has a door. They've got their room. Then there's another small room right here. And as we go up, we can see a lot of people don't really take the small rooms, they take the bigger rooms. There's another small room. We've got another big room, another big room, another big room. This guy did not shut his door. Alright, well at least he's got a bed and a locker and a backwards desk. Well, he was not paying attention. And he's got a piano he can't sit at. Whatever. We're gonna view and not judge. We're just gonna shut the door. Looks like these people probably disappeared. Even so, we've got extra room for more people. And then I think the next floor is probably unfinished. But yeah, that's like that on purpose so that everybody can like have their own room, have their own space. That's important for a lot of people. So we're gonna go ahead and just drop down because obviously there's no fall damage when you're on a PAL. This is the Brontosaurus dude I was talking about. He's gonna be good for your breeding and food base. We're gonna take a look at him right now. So as we can see, he's got 4 planting, 4 gathering, and 2 mining. Now I have him thrown in here. He's pretty much the only guy I think that's taking care of the berries. I think she's here for medicine if we need to make medicine here, but more often than not, um, really, really make medicine here. Um, I captured this guy because I put him in here at the main base because he is the ammo guy and the ring guy. So let's go on an adventure and find out where he is. I'm actually curious. Huh. If we can't find him right away, we're going to keep it moving. Because he's not really important to the... There he is. So if you capture this guy, he's pretty cool. He's got this ammo that's obviously cheaper to buy than waste the resources to make, and he's got the rings. Now, you could put any guy in your base. I just recommend a guy in your base in general. That way, people can just walk up to him and be like, hey man, I need to sell some stuff. And they'll be like, yeah, no problem. There you go. So then you could just sell random shit. It's good to have a sell guy. Okay, so we've got that done. I have a few extra things here in case someone wants to like make some food or something. Apparently I've got some food on me, so we're going to roast that up. And we're going to leave some food here for people that might be new and don't have any food on them. So, there we go. We'll leave some food there. As you can see, we've got these handiwork pals here. I put a bunch of Anubises in here with these, but this took a lot of breeding to do. But basically, I've got these four... Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 Anubises basically run the base. If something's not being built, they are mining. Bastagor just really does nothing but work the ice crusher over there. If that's not running, he kind of just does his own thing, willy-nilly. So that is the main base. So we're going to go over to the breeding and food base. Okay, this is where a lot of stuff goes on. So we've got food. This guy's making cake. We've got 2 breeding pits right here. I'm using both of them right now because nobody else is really on. But these 2 breeding pits, we've got breeding pits right here. That way, you have more than one person that can do breeding stuff. However, whenever the cakes are in those things, they're being used. So, what I would highly recommend is making a 3rd one off to the side. So this one, I don't use at all. This is where I would store spare cakes. Because obviously, cakes in those are going to get used up, and cakes in a normal chest are going to expire. But when you put cakes in one of these chests, they don't expire. So, let's go down here. And we're going to look at this chest. The timer should say 20 minutes. They are out of cake, so that's a bad example. Yeah, see, this is 20 minutes. Just locked in at 20 minutes. So that timer is never going to go down as long as it's in this little basket, which is actually part of this decoration. So that little basket keeps it from going bad. Then we've got 2 of these. The reason we've got 2 of these, you can only put 4 pals in each of them. So we're going to go over who we have in there. So we've got him in here, which is good. Because he drops high quality pal oil, but then he also can drop coins. So he does 2 things at the same time. So that's good. Then we've got Elizabeth. She's in the breeding pen. We've got the lamb, dropping wool. The Vixie. So this Vixie is maxed out. Which means she's going to drop the first 4 tiers of spears. She's going to drop blue, green, yellow, and red. So we're going to go over and see that. Yeah, see, she's dropping all 4 tiers. She's also going to drop arrows. I know that the guide says she drops leather, but she only drops leather when she's, like, killed or captured. So that's not a ranch drop. Okay. And then we've got Phalaris. Phalaris is just watering 4 and then carrying 3. So he's good. He's not going to get distracted by anything. He'll just carry stuff. He'll do watering. I didn't put too much breeding into him. He just has Artisan. Then, of course, we've got this guy, which he's got some garbage stats. But basically, he's just kind of there to do his to do his bonus. So he makes the eggs faster. I might need the saddle for that. Okay, this guy is watering and transporting, so even when other people are sleeping, he's good, because he's dark and watering. So this guy will water during the day, this guy waters at night, but dark just means they'll keep going until they pass out. Then the chicken's there for eggs, this is here for pal fluid. You need pal fluid and bones to make cement. Then the bee guard drops the honey for the cakes. Then there's the cow. The Vein Room Crest is ice and dark. So I've got him sitting on the food box. We've got the Orzerk here because this base doesn't use that much electricity. It's got these things, this line here, and this for electricity, and then this is an electric medicine bench. There's a better version, I just haven't built it yet. But the electricity box right here stores extra electricity. When he's not doing electricity, he'll probably be over here fishing. So as we can see, we've got some right here. So we're going to check the box. It says 5 of 10, so he must have captured something. Guess he didn't capture any pals. But he's used 5 of 10 bait. This thing probably could be in a better place. It just makes flour. But this is a skill tree fruit plot. And then there is the generator, which doesn't really, you don't need the big one. You don't use that much shitty. And then there's another skill free true plot. And then there's these. This 4 pals can use this at the exact same time, so that's good. Then we've got these guys. That's a pretty big guy. Okay, cool. So he's working on his harvesting. These plots were organized at first, but then shit kind of went off the rails when they started adding more food. So let's see if I can crouch and get in this box. So I've got the berries in the beginning, so that they do eat something, they're going to end up eating the berries first. But I'm going to take these stir-fried vegetables with me on the off chance one of the other bases needs it. I don't ever want to click sort, because I want them to stay the way it is. I want them to go through the berries before they go through anything else. That way all the rest of this food stays basically untouched. It seems like a lot, but that's what these things are over here for. Every once in a while you're going to want to take one of these out and set it to redo. So they need salads, but I tend to eat the stir-fried vegetables, which is the onions and the carrots. But at the exact same time, I had to put this here because normally it makes all this stuff, but since I keep the food at this base, I need it here for these items, for the bait, because these are food-related items. So I had it there for that. I mean, it's not as big of a deal because the guild chest is right here. Obviously, you're going to want to put everything in the guild chest that each base would end up using. So your hard resources, like your fiber, your stone, palladium fragments, ore, sulfur, wood. Bunch of random resources, because any base that has this can actually access this. So I'm actually going to take the coralum and put it in there. I'm actually going to feed my pals this to take up less space. Okay. So we've got that done. This needs to be switched out to the new bench, but other than that, another thing I didn't talk about is I usually put a block in between these things. That way the pals don't get stocked up, or stuffed up, I mean. Oh, cake's done. So, some pals are big, some pals are small. It just kind of depends. But there used to be a glitch back in the day where if the benches were too close together, a pal wouldn't work on it. So just out of reflex, I did that. You also want to have these at each one of your little bases, because pals will just come up and take the medicine. You don't got to give it to them. You don't got to feed it to them. They'll just come up and take it on their own. Now, let's go to the oil base. So, this is the only spot on the map that's actually useful that has 3 oil slots. So, we've got one there, we've got one there, and we've got one there. These guys all say they're starving, which I foresaw. So I'm going to go ahead and give them that. And there's the Van Christ. He's going to end up sitting on top of there when he's done. I have the power capacitor here, because these... What the fuck are they? These oil things take a long time. That's the fastest I've ever seen them go, to be honest with you. That's about as fast as they go. It doesn't do that much. But then, on the off chance that they're not doing anything, I did leave this here because the Orzerks do have handiwork, so sometimes if everything's good, they'll do that. But then I also left them a chest here for them to put the oil in. Sometimes they find eggs. I don't know where the hell they're getting the egg from. Because as far as I know, there's not really an egg spawn in their vicinity. I mean, I know there's one right here, but I don't think they leave to grab that. It's possible they're doing it, but I'm not completely sure. But basically, we've got that there, and that's about as simple as taking this, going like that, going to the guild chest, and then obviously anywhere can access that. I'm going to hold on to that egg for right now, though I don't want to take up too much space. There's another spot on this map that has 3 oil spots. I don't remember where it is, but the problem is the back of... It's got 3 oil spots, but there's a waterfall there, so you can't really build much there. I'm going to try to find that. Let's see. Is it here? Let's look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So, see, we've got 3 oil spots here. But the problem is there's not a lot of room to build, because you can't build on the water. You can't build in this tree area. It's even got one up top here, where it's got 3 more oil spots, where you could put it there, but then you can't really do anything with this. You can't really build anything in here because it's on the water. There might be a way around it. You could probably put some wood over it if you knock down the trees. I just don't remember if those trees are knocked downable. Let's double check and see if the trees are knocked downable. I don't remember if they are or not. Okay, looks like you can clear the landscape. You might be able to build on top of these. Actually, these aren't going away. You might not be able to build on top of these. Alright. So, the 4th location I recommend is your raid base. Because the thing is, when a boss spawns in, you're going to want a raid base. Because he's going to destroy everything. Right now, we're working on breeding. So, the raid base is down here, I believe. Yeah. So, the raid base is just an extra production base. Extra production base. So what we're doing right now is we're just mass producing the metal and the sulfur. Yeah, these guys are out of food again too. Not a problem. I can give them this. It's not a lot of food, but we gave them some food. Okay, so once again we've got the Bastigor with Nocturnal on there. So these guys are just doing their own thing, Is that a Minmog? Hold on, we're gonna go get that Minmog. Take the ring off first. Actually, I don't think I even need to keep the ring on. See if we can get Bastigor to do it. Yeah, you basically gotta one-shot these things. Sorry about that. Make sure we got a little distracted there. Obviously grab these eggs. But yeah, like I said, that's why you want it set up like that. So as we can see in the settings, nothing was boosted, nothing was really fidgeted with. This area doesn't really have a lot of fast travel stations, but if this whole area is blank, it's good. Because when that raid boss spawns in, it's going to destroy everything. Plus, when people aren't doing raids, they can always just convert this into, you know, whatever the hell they feel like doing, basically. And that is a good way to set it up. We're going to go over my lab right now for the people that are really into the breeding and the food, because obviously the breeding is a big part of this. So we're going to go up into my lab, where I spend most of my time. So I've got the berries organized into different stats. Then I've got the global pal box. I've got this here, just because it's cosmetic, honestly. But I've also got this here. That way I can bounce back and forth between going through all of these things. I try to stay organized, and I lock the ones that have like important stuff on them that I'm working on. But obviously, I'm running out of space, so I gotta remember to condense. But this can be one of your bread and butter things. This is the surgery table. So a pal needs to be in your inventory to do that. But once you have that, you can do transfer passive. You can give Mercy Hit, Nocturnal, Philanthropist, Impatient, There's a Fiddle, Infinite Stamina. Now, I got this chip from the PvP arena, which allows you to verse to computer. Nimble, Dainty Eater, blah blah blah, so these passives. Now, I also got this implant, I got the Artisan Implant, also from the PvP arena. Now, this is good because you can either add a passive or replace a passive. So, let's find a pal that's got shit passives. So this eyeball has Glutton. I could take Glutton off of him and just give him Artisan instead. Since he's got... Or actually, I could take the eyeball off of him. I don't need to give him Nocturnal. But if he didn't... If he was the Dark Pal, I could give him Nocturnal. And then what he would do is he would transport day and night. I could just replace Glutton. It costs coins. Another thing that's good about this is you can do these little coins you have. You could change their gender. So let's go into this box right here. Let's go along the back. Because I recently caught the twins. Let's see where it put them in here, because I didn't organize this as well as I should. Okay, so these are obviously both male. But if I caught a second one, and the second one was a male as well, I could just use the coin to change their gender, which is good for breeding. That's basically all there is to it. You basically want the map to be made in a teamwork way. If it's not designed for teamwork, and everything's just not organized, everything's willy-nilly, then you're not going to get that much done. I've seen a lot of people make maps where they're playing with a shit ton of people, but it's not helping anybody. It's almost like someone just made the map because they basically just want to stroke their own ego and be like, look how amazing I am, but it doesn't help anyone but themselves. So, obviously, you know, that's a bunch of horse shit, because the team is not a team if you don't give a damn about one another, but that is beside the point. So I'm going to strip this up. Stir-fried vegetables. We mostly survive on stir-fried vegetables, honestly, until this thing came out. Anyway, I don't want to get too rambly, but that's the basics of how you set up a stream map. So, that's it, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.